know that.
All right, we're on.
I forget. I probably have spent money on something though. Okay, this meeting is being held in accordance with the New Jersey Open Public Meetings Act. Annual notice of this meeting was published in the Union County Local Source and the Newark Star Ledger. Said notice was posted in the municipal building, and a copy is on file with the Office of the Borough Clerk. Fire exits are located in the directions I'm indicating. If you are alerted for fire, please move in a calm, orderly manner to the nearest smoke-free exit. Proper notice having been given, the Borough Clerk is directed to include the statement in the minutes of the meeting. Please call the roll.
Councilman Petrosky.
Here.
Councilman Johnson.
Here.
Councilman Signorella.
Here.
Councilman Urbina.
Present.
Councilwoman Lyons.
Here.
Councilman Patel.
Here.
Mayor Signorella.
Here.
All present, Mayor.
Please lead us in the opening prayer, Pledge of Allegiance.
Eternal God, grant us thy help in all our duties and perplexities. We ask for thy guidance. Give us thy protection in our dangers and sorrows. Grant us thy peace. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, there are no communications for review this evening. We do have two proclamations, though. Are we doing both at once, Shay, or how's it work out? Okay, cool. Let's go up. Is what I meant. Hi, guys, come on up. Come up here. Come on stage. I'll let Jay talk mostly about this, but Jay, it's your show. Go for it, man.
Well, about 4 or 5 years ago, we started an online advocacy group on social media, on Facebook, Rails to Trails Union County. I joined council. At that time, Union County Connects really picked up the baton and went far with it. They continued advocacy efforts, not only here in Roselle Park, and not only countywide, but statewide. And I'm proud to recognize them tonight. It being Bike Month, we just had Celebrate Trails Day last Saturday along the Rahway Valley Railroad. It was a great event, and I'd like to thank them for their efforts, not only for the cleanup, but for their advocacy efforts on bicycle and pedestrian safety, micromobility, and active transportation. So without further ado, unless there's something you'd like to
No,
mention, Mayor?
just keep up the good work, guys. We couldn't do it without you. So hopefully we get some rails to trails soon.
Yeah.
For your support. We
Yeah.
love seeing you at the event. That was awesome.
Yeah, you're doing it French ahead of me.
Yeah, right?
And just to give a little context on that, the Rahway Valley Railroad running through the 5th Ward starts at Route 28, Westfield Avenue, goes all the way to Summit, 7.3 miles, beginning at its terminus here in Roselle Park. Half-mile section runs through 5th Ward, through Valley Road and Beechwood. Significant amount of that has been cleaned up by DOT, Public Works, and through the efforts of our volunteers. So we're looking forward to seeing progress there. We've gotten support from state officials, county officials, and as of 2 years ago, we received a $1.5 million grant for the conversion, for design, planning, and construction for the Rails to Trails project. So right now, we're hoping for Roselle Park in Kenilworth to have a connection there that leads you into Galloping Hill Golf Course and to an existing trail through Blackbrook Park in Kenilworth that actually goes all the way up to Watchung Reservation. But there's potential. New Jersey in the last couple of years has really ticked up when it comes to pedestrian fatalities. We've got to make our roads safer. And the way that we're going to do that is by advocating for traffic calming measures such as speed humps like we just had in the Walnut. Something that we also advocated for a couple of years ago and got done in the 5th Ward on Valley, Beechwood, Jerome, and West Webster. But we all have a hand in this. And once again, thank you so much, Union County Connects. I'd like to present these certificates of recognition. We're going to start off with Al Walkoff. This recognition is presented to Mr. Alan Walkoff for his advocacy efforts related to bike and pedestrian safety. Mr. Wolkoff is commended for his commitment to promoting active transportation and the creation of trails and greenways both in Roselle Park and throughout Union County. So, Al, thank you so much. Next one, same verbiage, same wording, goes to Ellen.
Thank you.
Thank you. You've really done a lot the past year, picking up, work. Yeah. Yes, she is. Yes, she is. And Steve, a lot of this is moved forward and propelled forward because of you. The biking fireman, follow him on Instagram, online. He's gone to the State House. He bikes from Cranford here. And when's the last time you drove a car to work?
To work, it's been almost 2,000 days, 5 years.
Wow.
5 years.
2,000 days in
Wow, that's awesome.
His heart is in the right places. I appreciate it. Steve, this is for you.
I appreciate it.
Thank you.
You mentioned about
Why don't you
Yeah,
guys
please, I was gonna say,
mention it?
does
Al,
anybody, any of you guys wanna?
I don't have a
Yeah,
voice.
please.
You got it.
Go. Talk about it.
Just tell them that the
Tell
mural's
them
not
nice.
aware.
Does everybody know, that there's a mural
Yeah, no, yeah.
on Sunrise Documents?
So
They
just,
don't know. Steve.
yeah, so for everyone watching at home and everyone here, the public-private partnership has been really great here. Jay came to us with an idea for the mural on Sunrise Documents Building, and we were able to work together to find funding for that through Union County Hearts Grant, through private grant funding, and Jay worked with the building owner to make it happen and make sure we met all the requirements in the town. And we're hoping to finish that this year. We have all the funding for the second half of the wall, and we're just working on nailing down a date, hopefully for late August, early September. Is that what we're thinking now? Yeah. And Distort is a world-renowned artist, and this is really, it's great art that was brought here to Roselle Park to bring awareness to the rail trail, the history of the whole area, plus where it's going in the future. So we're literally going from rail to trail in art on that wall. So thank you, Jay, and Roselle Park and everyone for making it happen.
That's awesome.
This is funny.
Across from Wawa, or across from Sun Tower.
Yeah, right across.
And just to wrap this up, we just, in honor of having you guys, first off, also, the mural's really nice. Everybody gives me credit for it, and I was like, no, I don't do anything. And then at some point, I'm like, you know what? I get blamed for everything. I'm just going to take credit for it, too. And I'm like, you know what? Yeah, it was a great idea. You're welcome. So we just want to honor you, give you this to you guys for Bike Month. 40% of all traveling trips in the United States are less than 2 miles, and 30% are a mile or shorter, making bicycling a feasible and fun way. Nice job, Andrew, to get from place to place. In recent years, there have been increased interest in healthy, sustainable, and economic transportation options, particularly given the economic development and population growth in Union County, all of northern New Jersey. Most recent data shows that over 700,000 Americans bike to work. That's a lot. National Bike Month includes an ever-expanding diversity of events that promote cycling and alternative means of mobility. And whereas in 2025, Bike to Work Week will be May 12th to the 18th, with Bike to Work Day observed May 16th, I'm proclaiming it a Bike Month. So.
So you're gonna bike to work?
No. The financial district in Manhattan's a tough. I take public transportation. Oh, here. I walk. It's a square mile town. Yeah. So, anything else, Jay? Anything else you guys want to plug?
Can we take a picture?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, of course. Yeah. Ken, do you mind taking a picture? Oh, Greg. All right. Cool. Appreciate you.
Multifaceted.
I'm always hiding behind them.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for coming.
Thanks so much.
How about you?
Getting old, like an old hoopty, everything breaks down.
Me too.
Grab that shaky hand.
Oh, take care, Mr. Wolkoff. It's always a pleasure.
The bridge. That's good. Yeah.
He's a fourth ward councilman. Chase him.
Hi, I know, I just said, I'm so happy to see you.
Busy.
Yeah,
This and
it's good stuff. Councilman who wants to shoot.
See you later, Ellen.
Take care.
All right. Thanks, everybody. May I have a motion that bills and payrolls be not read and passed for payment?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Oh, I passed the meeting minutes. Whoops, thank you. May I have a motion to approve meeting minutes pending any corrections?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, you want to do the public hearing on the budget thing, right? That's next? Yeah, okay.
Okay. Mayor, this is the time now fixed for the public hearing on the 2025 municipal budget. The budget was approved by the governing body on April 3rd, 2025, was advertised as required by law on April 17th, 2025, together with a notice of public hearing for this time and place. Printed copies have been made available to the public during the past week and longer, and are available at this public hearing near the entrance of council chambers.
Anyone who's not secured a copy of the budget may do so now. Each person desiring to be heard shall rise, seat themselves at the public desk, and give their name and address before speaking. All questions are to be addressed to the chair. Where necessary, they will be referred to individual members of the governing body or municipal officials. Questions and commentary must be confined solely to the 2025 municipal budget. School or county matters are not proper subjects of this hearing and cannot be discussed or answered during this hearing. May I have a motion to open the public hearing on the 2025 municipal budget?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
The public hearing on the 2025 municipal budget is now open. Anybody wishing to come speak on the municipal budget may do so now. 3, 2, 1, no one. May I have a motion to close the public hearing on the 2025 municipal budget?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Public hearing on the 2025 municipal budget is now closed. Final adoption of the 2025 municipal budget will be considered during the portion of the agenda when resolutions are regularly considered. May I have a motion to open the public portion on agenda items?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
If you'd like to come speak, please come forward to the microphone, state your name and address for the record. This is on agenda items. 3, 2, 1, I'm seeing no one. May I have a motion to close the public portion on agenda items only?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, I'm just going straight down the list here. Andrew, do you have anything to report?
Yes, Mayor, just a couple of things. The borough's seen a lot of activity the last couple of weeks since the last council meeting. There's been quite a bit of work going on. The Boy Scout Park project is ongoing and in its final phases. Routine tree work is ongoing, working its way right now from the east side of town. We may hop around a little bit, but right now they've been concentrating on the east side. There have been improvements to a variety of roadways that were recently disturbed, or not so recently disturbed, by the utility companies. Most recently, Walnut, East Lincoln, Sumner, Hamilton, Colfax, I think it was Colfax or Roselle, to name a few. We also had New Jersey American Water in town in a variety of different ways. One of them is repairing some water main break patches that have been done. They're not quite finished with those, but they're making them a little more palatable between now and when they can do the final restoration of those areas. And the other is the lead line replacements that are been ongoing. So what you see a lot through their contractor, Montana Construction, you will see them near your curb line doing test pits, and typically they will speak to you prior just to give you a little bit of notice. And all they're looking for is the construction or the material used for your water line. They are obligated to replace all lead or galvanized steel service lines by 2031. So they're trying to expedite their way through Roselle Park, kind of get this out of the way and make it a little bit more, just get it out of the way. So we're not dealing with this until 2031. The other thing they're doing that I just want to highlight, the borough has asked them to expedite some of this work, both to get it out of the way, but also to get it out of the way before in advance of some paving that we have planned. So in places like Avon Street, Berwyn Street, they're imminently going to be paved. Maple, Rindell, Rhoda, Henry, Pershing, Warren, Laurel, those areas in particular are probably seen an uptick in this activity, and the reason for that is we want to get them in and out and not delay the project when that project's ready to actually take place. So in case those areas see a flurry of activity, it's not because there's more lead. There actually may be no lead in your service lines or galvanized steel. It's just to verify that and move out of the area prior to the commencement of the borough's project. So that, among other things, is my report. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Rich?
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
I know you're waiting for bated breath to hear my report, so. Okay, construction code report for April. We had 92 permits in April in total. Total revenue through the end of April is $177,013. Sewer connection fees year-to-date, $82,120. COA fees year-to-date, $2,743. That will be going up because if everybody remembers 10 West Westfield Avenue, the Meridia project, they'll be paying in installments for that till the end of the year. So I should have a bit more in there next month. Total uniform construction code violations, I'm very happy with. We only had 6 in April. Property maintenance is another story. We had 19 court dispositions, fines year-to-date, $4,838. We did have 27 violations issued for the month of April, so typical for the spring. We're, being very proactive. And 7 court summonses. So as everyone sees, and I reported this last month, 10 West Westfield Avenue, a temporary certificate of occupancy has been issued for Building B and the parking garage. The last time I spoke to Dennis Leoya from Meridia, he said they should be starting the courtyard within the next month. So I've been pushing them on that because number one, I don't like the way it looks. And number two, it's in the redevelopment agreement. So they need to get moving on that. A TCO, like I said, was issued for the parking structure as well. The Hunter project's moving along. They actually came in with permit updates for the proposed food market, deli convenience store that's going to be on the lower level. Currently, they have an underground permit, and we're going to be finishing up their permit for their vanilla box. 404 West Westfield, Fernmore Homes, that's moving along quite nicely. Tony's doing a very good job on that. All rough framing's complete. Pretty much all the rough inspections are complete. They are now proceeding to interior finishes. The exterior is about 75% complete. They're looking at TCO possibly August or September at this point on their critical path. Very happy to announce a TCO was issued for Lace Up Fitness, JL Athletics at 121 Chestnut Street. The coffee shop next door, he is slowed down a little bit, but he is going to be proceeding with his final inspections for electric and building and plumbing. Fire, he already passed. So things are moving along quite nicely there. So if anybody has any questions?
Yeah, Rich, I do. Just to clarify, you said a deli or convenience store for Hunter?
Yeah, that's, it's going to be,
That's
it's
what,
actually
1,500
a
square
market.
feet?
It's actually a market, but they're going to have a deli as part of the market, and then coffee also as part of the market. It's a good-sized space.
Okay,
It's quite nice, the layout.
nice. And remind me for Meridia, the courtyard, what focal feature are we having there?
If I remember
It's in the agreement,
correctly,
because I
it
remember
was
they
a
want to change it,
fountain,
yes.
and they were having an issue trying to obtain or have manufactured a certain type of fountain that actually met with the redevelopment agreement and the plan. Because originally they came in with this monstrosity, which I know wasn't going to fly, so I had them go back to the drawing board. They did reconfigure the courtyard it's actually based upon Uniform Construction Code criteria, because the courtyard's actually designed on each side for a fire lane and for fire department apparatus to access both buildings, which would be the B side and I guess the D side of both buildings. So they had to reconfigure that, and I did review that and approved it, making sure that it did meet the criteria of the redevelopment plan and the planning board approval. So it is very nice. It's going to be very nice.
But what kind of features will be in it? Is it going to be a little, like an amphitheater space, something like what Cranford has in their downtown?
Similar,
Okay.
yes, and pavers, and they're going to have a focal point with the fountain. George is going back and forth with the tree, and I think, Mayor, you might have spoken to him on the tree. He
I
seems-
haven't actually.
Yeah, he seems real big on this tree for some reason.
I'm good with it. Can you just send me the latest and greatest? I'll distribute it to council of
Sure.
whatever the concept is. I'd be curious to see what it looks like at the moment.
Yeah, I
anyway.
think I did send you the last version.
If you don't mind, just put it fresh in my inbox.
Yeah, I'll
Thank
put
you.
it fresh in.
Yeah.
That's it. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Rich, this is one of my little pet peeves on people cutting their grass. I know you guys do a thorough job getting on them, and the warnings, the fines. Is there anything, we'll talk about third, fourth year offenders, same people every year. I mean, something we should look at. You just, 3 to 5 years, the same people are doing it. Maybe we got to double their fine or whatever. If they're in the 5th year, they're same habitual, they don't cut their grass. So I was going to say in my report, people, you got to cut your grass. You got to be responsible for your property.
We're going to have to look at escalating fines.
Right.
That's the only way to try to nip this in the bud. So the judge is kind of handcuffed with the way the ordinance is written as maximum fines. We can do progressive fines, amend the ordinance and implement progressive fines up to an amount that actually will make a difference. That is something we can look at, because there's another section of the ordinance I have to address too.
We could talk next week. Thank you.
All right?
Thank you.
Thanks, Rich. Okay, Ruben?
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Just a couple of reminders on the upcoming events. This Saturday, we are having the annual bike clinic and the Tour de Roselle Park at 11 a.m. I'm sure, Councilman, you're going to talk more about it,
A
so I'm
little
not
bit,
going to
but
go
go
into
for it.
detail. We have also received free concert tickets for our seniors to the PNC Arts Center for May 18, 14, and 28. Seats are limited, and we will provide the transportation to the Roselle Park seniors. Thanks to Garden State Arts Foundations for providing 15 free tickets to each concert. Our first Multicultural and Heritage Festival is on Saturday, May 17 at Michael Murray Park. The event is from 12 p.m. to 5 p.m. And the Councilman Johnson will give you more detail on that as well. On Monday, May 26 is our annual Memorial Day Parade and Service. Right now, we have about 22 groups signed up for to participate in the parade. Assembly begins at 9 a.m. The parade will begin at 10 a.m. and it will end at the library for the service. On May 28, Robert Gordon is inviting seniors for a breakfast at the school at 10 a.m. There will be games, breakfast, and entertainment. And the sad side of the news, this past weekend, we lost Chris Lettieri. Was not only a good employee, good human being, and loyal friend that we missed at the Casano Center. My prayers and thoughts goes out to our family during this difficult time. Om Shanti. That's all. Thank you.
Any questions for Ruben?
Thank you.
Thank you, Ruben.
Thanks, Rup.
Ken?
Thank you, Mayor. Just a friendly reminder, taxes are due today. You have until Monday, May 12th to pay, since the 10th is on a Saturday. And we have the budget for adoption tonight. Just a reminder, for the average house is assessed at $253,000. The average tax increase, municipal increase is $50.60. That's all I have, Mayor.
Cool. Any questions for Ken? Okay. Chief, come up.
Evening, Mayor, Council.
Good evening.
I previously submitted my report for April 2025. A couple highlights from my report. With April being Sexual Assault Awareness Month on April 9th, Police Chair, Councilman at Large Joseph Signorella Jr., officers of the Roselle Park Police Department, and I met with members of the Union County Rape Crisis Center in an effort to build a stronger connection between law enforcement and county services. Bless you. This initiative is to spread awareness and resources to victims of sexual assault and police departments throughout Union County who may need or offer assistance. At this event, the members of the Union County Rape Crisis Center decorated one of our police cruisers and handed out literature in front of the Borough Hall. If you are a victim of sexual assault or are looking for more information on the Union County Rape Crisis Center, you can contact the 24-hour hotline at 908-233-7273. On April 13th, it was National Public Safety Telecommunicator Week. The Roselle Park Police Department sent out a special thank you on our Facebook page to all Union County dispatchers that are behind the scenes and serve in the critical role in the daily operations of the police department. I want to thank you for keeping our community and officers safe every day. I'm happy to announce that April 30th, we closed out our grant for the statewide distracted driving campaign, which resulted in approximately 214 traffic stops, 118 summonses, and 3 arrests. We did apply for the grant for this month for the click it or ticket. We still have not gotten word for that yet. We should hear for something later in the week. I have the radar trailers are all serviced and ready to go out. If there's any special requests from any of the council, any spots that you want to us to focus on our efforts right off the hop, just hit me up on an email and we'll get it out there. That's all I have for my report, sir.
Any questions for the chief?
Yeah, no, I just wanted to make a statement. Chief, thank you for attending the Public Safety Committee meeting. And the reason why I wanted to mention it here, because I won't be able to have a report. We did go over a lot of vital things, and I would like Galloping Hill to be, I'll reach out to you. I know we discussed that, Joe P. and Junior, with trying to see what we could do to mitigate Galloping Hill's concerns. So
I feel William Crossett staring at my neck right now.
Oh, I guess. Yeah. But no, we're definitely
We'll take care of
that.
that.
Thank you, Chief. Appreciate
Absolutely.
it.
And Chief, I wanted to thank you for your feedback and support of Resolution 137.
Yes, thank you for your support as well, and I thought that was a great resolution. It was well put together, and anything we could do to make things work here, I'm all for it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Cool. Thanks, chief.
Thank you.
John?
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
I'd like to thank Mayor Signorello and Town Council for giving me the opportunity to provide a brief update. The goal of the Roselle Park Recreation Department is to meet the recreational needs of our community. As part of our department's effort to meet these needs and expand community services, our department provides a wide range of programs. Membership and recreation, we currently have over 487 recreational members. Homework and aftercare, we currently have over 121 members. We are transporting and chaperoning over 98 students daily. Spring sports and activity programming has begun. All-season volleyball is on Wednesday nights at the ASYC. We currently have 74 participants. Off-season K through 5 cheerleading is on Monday nights at the ASYC, and we currently have over 47 participants and 11 on a waiting list. Off-season boys and girls wrestling is on Mondays and Wednesday nights at the high school. We currently have 18 participants. We are pleased to report our department has made the following change to recreational programming and procedures. All recreational employees and volunteers have a criminal history screening and are certified in CPR and AED. We remain committed to providing the best possible care and programming. In addition, we believe these changes has afforded our community members the requested ASYC programming. The ASYC has recently hosted the following: Scout meetings, Recreation Committee meetings, Public Affairs Community Event meetings, CPEG meetings, PTA meetings, 5th grade parent meetings, recreational sports parties, to name a few. I'd be remiss to not congratulate the Recreation Committee for hosting an amazing Easter event. As always, you can contact the Recreation Department at recreation@rosellepark.net with any questions or concerns. That completes our May Recreational Department update. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Any questions?
Yeah, I just want to thank you for a great job with the Easter egg hunt. You were a big help, and your workers did help big
Great.
time. So everything went well. It seemed like the kids were very happy.
Absolutely. You're welcome. Our pleasure.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good night.
Okay. Looks like Kevin's not here. Yeah, may I have a motion to accept the reports of departments as submitted?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Please read ordinance number 2816 by title.
Yes, Mayor, ordinance 2816 is an ordinance for second reading and public hearing, an ordinance to exceed the municipal budget appropriation limits and establish a cap bank for calendar year 2025 pursuant to NJSA 40A:4-4514.
May I have a motion to open the public hearing on ordinance number 2816?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We want to come up and speak on this ordinance? May I have a motion to close the public hearing on ordinance number 2816?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
May I have a motion to adopt ordinance number 2816?
So moved.
Second.
Please call the roll.
Councilman Petrosky.
Yes.
Councilman Johnson.
Yes.
Councilman Signorello.
Yes.
Councilman Rabina.
Yes.
Councilwoman Lyons.
Yes.
Councilman Patel.
Yes.
6 votes in the affirmative, Mayor, the ordinance is adopted.
Please read ordinance number 2819 by title.
Yes, Mayor. Ordinance 2819 is an ordinance for second reading and public hearing, a bond ordinance to authorize the making of various public improvements and the acquisition of new, additional, or replacement equipment and machinery, new information technology equipment, new communication and signal systems equipment, and new automotive vehicles, including original apparatus and equipment in, by, and for the Borough of Roselle Park in the County of Union, State of New Jersey, to appropriate the sum of $3,012,000 to pay the cost thereof, to appropriate various grants, to make a down payment, to authorize the issuance of bonds to finance such appropriation, and to provide for the issuance of bond anticipation notes in anticipation of the issuance of such bonds.
May I have a motion to open the public hearing on ordinance number 2819?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Want to come up and speak on this ordinance? I'm seeing no one. May I have a motion to close the public hearing on ordinance number 2819?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
May I have a motion to adopt ordinance number 2819?
So moved.
Second.
Is there any discussion? Please call the roll.
Councilman Petrosky.
Yes.
Councilman Johnson.
Yes.
Councilman Signorello.
Yes.
Councilman Rabina.
Yes.
Councilwoman Lyons.
Yes.
Councilman Patel.
Yes.
I got everybody, right? I feel like I missed somebody. I didn't. 6 in the affirmative. The ordinance is adopted, Mayor.
Please read ordinance number 2820 by title.
Yes, Mayor. Ordinance 2820 is an ordinance for introduction, an ordinance amending Chapter 7, Section 39, subsection 2 of the Code of the Borough of Roselle Park, entitled Handicap Parking on Streets for Private Residences.
May I have a motion to approve ordinance number 2820 for introduction and fix the date for second reading and public hearing is May 15th, 2025? Is
So moved.
Second.
there any discussion?
Mayor, could I just make a quick note on this? I know Chief Reno isn't here at the moment. However, this is kind of a collaborative effort and a little bit of problem solving. One of the things, the first thing to note is this won't impact any handicap spots that are currently in the ordinance. The second thing to just note, and the real reason for this is what we've realized going through this process now for a few years, is that when those with handicap placards renew with Division of Motor Vehicles, they get new numbers, which means the signs are wrong, which means the ordinance is wrong. So what the police department will end up doing for the individuals who qualify for these spaces and continue to requalify for the spaces is issue a unique Roselle Park number. So it would be, RP1, RP2, RP3, and that's what it'll indicate on the sign. And those numbers will never change. And they will, in the record keeping that we have, tie back to the placard that gets issued to that resident at that address. So it just makes sure that there's no inconsistencies across all of the different levels of enforcement and out in the field when these renewals happen.
Makes sense.
Any further discussion? Please call the roll.
Councilman Petrosky.
Yes.
Councilman Johnson.
Yes.
Councilman Signorello.
Yes.
Councilman Rabina.
Yes.
Councilwoman Lyons.
Yes.
Councilman Patel. 6 votes in the affirmative, Mayor. The ordinance is introduced.
All matters listed with an asterisk are considered to be routine and non-controversial by the council and will be approved by one motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless a member of the governing body so requests, in which case the item will be removed from the consent agenda and considered in its normal sequence on the agenda as part of the general orders. Please read all resolutions by title.
Yes, Mayor. Resolution 12525 is authorizing the 2025 municipal budget to be read by title only. Resolution 12625 is adopting the 2025 municipal budget. Resolution 12725 is authorizing the donation of 5 unclaimed bicycles that failed to sell at auction to Bob's Bicycle Service. Resolution 12825 is authorizing the Borough Clerk to auction unclaimed vehicles. Resolution 12925 is accepting the donation of recovered parts of a 2020 Jeep Grand Cherokee from State Farm Mutual Automobile Insurance Company. Resolution 13025 is awarding a professional services contract to McManaman, Scotland and Bauman, LLC, for redevelopment council services associated with a designated redevelopment and rehabilitation area, including Block 504, Lot 6 of the municipal tax map, commonly known as 510 Chestnut Street, along with all streets and rights-of-way pertinent thereto, in an amount not to exceed $5,000. Resolution 13125 is awarding a professional services contract to the Neglia Group for professional planning services associated with the preparation of a redevelopment plan for Block 504, Lot 6 of the municipal tax map, commonly known as 510 Chestnut Street, along with all streets and rights-of-way pertinent thereto, in an amount not to exceed $13,410. Resolution 13225 is appointing Brianna Blanco to the position of Community Center Clerk and member of Community Center Events and Activity Staff. Resolution 13325 is awarding a professional services contract to the Neglia Group for professional planning services, including surveying, design, and construction management for the Project 2025 Capital Road Program, in an amount not to exceed $52,685. Resolution 13425 is authorizing the Borough Clerk to auction vehicles no longer needed for public use. Resolution 13525 is authorizing the Borough Clerk to auction a 2018 Jeep Grand Cherokee Trackhawk. Resolution 13625 is amending the vehicle policy of the Borough of Roselle Park. Resolution 13725 is urging state policymakers to review vehicular pursuit guidelines to address organized property crimes, including catalytic converter theft, and to support investments to combat vehicle and home burglaries. Resolution 13825 is reauthorizing the solicitation of bids for the sale of the Borough of Roselle Park sanitary sewer system pursuant to NJSA 40:62-3 et sec. Resolution 13925 is accepting the retirement of David Pitts from the position of Police Lieutenant. Resolution 14025 is authorizing the hanging of a 2-sided banner in Michael J. Morey Park, advertising the 2025 Feast of St. Anthony. Resolution 14125 is authorizing the treasurer to issue 1 check totaling $6,258.94, payable to 1 lien holder on 1 property, and 1 check totaling $8,100 from the tax collector's premium account. And Resolution 14225 is authorizing submission of an application for the 2025 Union County Capital Project Grant.
Do any members wish to have any items removed from the consent agenda? I'm going to pull 138. Anybody else?
Mayor,
Anything?
139.
And Mayor, 137.
Is there? Okay, may I have a motion to? Oh, sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
130, no, I'm sorry, 130 and 131.
130 and 131. Yep. Okay. May I have a motion to approve the resolutions remaining on the consent agenda?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, may I have a motion to adopt Resolution 130-25?
So moved.
Second.
Is there any discussion?
Yes, I just, can you just go over what exactly that's happening with 510 Chestnut?
Oh, yeah, so this is the Board of Ed building?
Yes.
Yeah, so overarching what I know about where the whole thing, or is there specifically what this reso is doing? Ro?
What's it doing?
Okay, yeah, so this basically, we have a redevelopment attorney, right? So they go about working with the planners, which is Neglia, to develop a redevelopment plan, right? Which is like, we've been talking, we have a developer in our midst right now. It's like really broad parameters of what could potentially go there, right? You know, is it going to be a steakhouse? Is it going to be, senior housing? Whatever, right? Like what it's going to be zoned for, essentially. So this essentially awards the contract to, or those work services to do that. The one thing to note with both of these, should we actually go down a path where there is a developer, this goes into an escrow, correct? So the would-be developer ends up paying for these costs.
Okay. Thank
Any
you.
further discussion?
Fine. Good. I was just, have we heard from BOE? Have they made any decisions with that? Do you know?
No, but once again, I mean, I'll continue to say this, Kanjan, I don't think they can adequately, again, I don't want to speak for the Board of Ed. I was at their Board of Ed meeting last week. I don't think that they can adequately discuss any potential deal unless they know what could be built there. So this would enable the borough to decide what could be potentially built there. So, Councilman Johnson?
What's this like? You trying to study or something?
Yeah, it's a redevelopment plan. So it's, it would be like, you know, Mike's here, right? So it'd be the Ryan project, the first stage of that is the plan,
Yeah.
and then you do the agreement. So this would be going out to make the plan.
Okay, this is going to make the plan, but we're not actually voting on the plan.
No, we're not making,
Oh, okay.
we're not
Sorry.
voting on the plan.
Oh,
This is just establishing the contract to make it. Yep. Mhm. Right, hiring the professionals
Okay.
to make it.
Nah,
Yep.
I
Mhm.
don't care.
Thank you.
Yeah, anybody else? Cool. Please call the roll.
This is on resolution
Oh, Yeah, 130-25?
3025.
Yeah. Yep.
Councilman Petrosky?
Yes.
Councilman Johnson?
Yes.
Councilman Signorello?
Yes.
Councilman Rabina?
Yes.
Councilwoman Lyons?
Yes.
Councilman Patel?
No.
5 in the affirmative, 1 vote in the negative. The resolution is adopted.
May I have a motion to adopt Resolution 131-25?
So moved.
Second.
Is there any discussion? So this is the same story. So
Yeah.
one's for the lawyers, one's for the engineers.
Planner.
Planner, sorry, yeah. They're both, yeah. Please call the roll.
Councilman Petrosky?
Yes.
Councilman Johnson?
Yes.
Councilman Signorello?
Yes.
Councilman Rabina?
Yes.
Councilwoman Lyons?
Yes.
Councilman Patel?
No.
5 votes in the affirmative, 1 in the negative. The resolution is adopted.
Okey-dokey, may I have a motion to adopt Resolution 137-25? Is
So moved.
Second.
there any discussion?
Yes, Mayor, if I may.
Yep.
I just want to, I wish the chief was here too. I think this is a well-written reso, and I'm actually for it with the exception of this line, and I just want to make sure that this, and maybe Andrew could help me with this, I just want to make sure that this reso isn't superseding NJ Attorney General guidelines, because they do need to look into revising the Attorney General guidelines and tweak it a bit. Being a ex-law enforcement official, I actually sat as a tour commander for 10 years, and I broke off chases, and I allowed chases to go and continue. And when you're dealing with chasing criminals, you have to take in consideration the weather. You have to take in consideration the time of day. You have to take in consideration how many people are on the road, because the reason why the Attorney General put these things in place is because there were actually kids that died for petty drug, petty crime. And of course, no one likes to be a victim, and no one wants to be robbed, and we got to constantly, as a society, continue to tweak that. So my only concern is this line where it says, whereas the Borough of Roselle Park supports its police department and desires that it offers that its officers be granted appropriate discretion. I think the AG guidelines and the field supervisor already knows what those discretions are. I don't want it to look like the governing body is saying for the field supervisor or the chief, we're superseding that.
So this, just
And
to,
that's what my concern is. And if we could remove that, or
well, just, so I will,
don't want to remove it, then.
I will freely, if I'm mayor, if I could,
Yeah, go for it.
I not to throw Councilman Rabine under the bus, I didn't write this, but but what this resolution does is urge state review of the current guidelines,
Correct.
not saying that we would follow anything but the guidelines.
But the
'cause they-
sentence almost makes it seem like we're superseding ahead of time without all those variables in play in real time. Field boss. Like if I was a law enforcement officer, I would be like, oh, I could just go for the chase because council already did it, and then if we kill somebody, it's on council.
Yeah.
Like I'm just saying, like that sentence, that line has to come out for me to vote yes.
Councilman, you want to make a move to strike it?
Yes, I would like to make a move to strike that whereas sentence, and then I'm all for it. I'm yes.
Okay.
Support. They should revise it. I'm 100% for this ordinance. That line is a little
Harry.
here.
Okay, cool. Is there a second?
So the motion's to remove the last whereas.
No, it's the whereas the
No.
Borough of Roselle Park. It's the second to last.
Second to last.
Second to last.
I'll second it for that.
Okay.
Thank you. Other than that, it's great.
Okay.
It's fine.
You ready, Andrew?
Yeah.
Please call the roll.
So, oh, I'm sorry.
You're good.
Jump the gun. Councilman Petrosky, you're voting on the amendment. Councilman Petrosky.
To strike it?
Yeah, just get rid of that
Okay,
one line.
yes.
Councilman Johnson.
Yes.
Councilman Signorello.
Yes.
Councilman Urbina.
Yes.
Councilwoman Lyons.
Yes.
Councilman Patel.
Yes.
6 votes in the affirmative, Mayor. The amendment is agreed to. Need a motion to adopt as amended.
Do I have a motion to adopt as amended?
So
So
moved.
moved.
I so moved.
How you pick who you want to on that one, Andrew?
I'm sorry.
Second.
There we go.
Please call the roll.
Just give me 1 second. Councilman Petrosky.
Yes.
Councilman Johnson.
Yes.
Councilman Signorello.
Yes.
Councilman Urbina.
Yes.
Councilwoman Lyons.
Yes.
Councilman Patel.
Yes.
6 votes in the affirmative, Mayor. The resolution is adopted.
Cool. May I have a motion to adopt Resolution 138-25?
So moved.
Second.
Is there any discussion? So I kind of want to talk about this. It's really funny because like there's some things where I just like I'm passionate about passing something. This one is like not something I anticipated any kind of pushback on because ultimately what happens. Let me take a step back and explain potentially what could happen here. And Joe, you're the lawyer. Please keep me honest if I mess anything up. So when I first became mayor, and I think even this Joe P. This predates me, right? This is
Yes,
on.
it does.
They've been
Yes,
asking
it
for a
does.
while. Yeah, so we own our own sewer system, which can be a rarity in the state of New Jersey. And there are prospective parties that would like to purchase it, right? And, you know, in their mind, right, like, let's just talk about the hard economics of it. They pay for a sewer system, you know, upfront, whatever that cost is, and if they own it for 100 years until, you know, the United States of America or the world ceases to exist, however long it is, you know, they will have that income, right? The pluses of it for the borough, and I'll get to the logistics of it in a second, is, you know, we're a square mile town. We get sewer issues all the time. We even in the best of times, we don't have a huge Department of Public Works to like go out and fix these things. And candidly, when a lot of the big stuff comes in, keep me honest here, Andrew, like we have to call in professionals to do that, right?
Always.
Yeah, got it. So there we go. And so we got the sewer system bill back to normal-ish this year, but, you know, should we have something catastrophic, we have to put that back into the sewer bill, right? Like it's, just to be clear, somebody was joking with me or posted on Facebook, you know, Roselle Park was created because of a sewer issue, right? Because we broke off from Roselle or Union. Yeah, and it's going to happen again, but whatever. If you guys want to break off, go for it. We're going to have the Sherman Avenue revolt. They're going to break off and become Roselle Park. But my, thank you, Ralph. Appreciate you entertaining me on that one. They're 100 and whatever year old systems, right? So we do patchwork fixes here and again, like we're sitting on a time bomb. Something big's going to break at some point, right? And we're going to have to be on the hook for that. So the plus side is if we sell it, you know, we might get an upfront payment for that, right? Because it is worth something. And then also, candidly, it just doesn't become our problem. If there's a break, it's privately fixed. And oh, by the way, American Water, if they're the high bidder, because they normally are, they'll come in, they'll fix the road, and they'll manage everything else, right? It's one less thing for the finance department to do. If it's American Water who's the buyer, I'm just using them as an example because they are very often the high bidder, you know, it'll be part of your water bill, right? And you just pay that instead of paying the borough. The downside is it's out of our control, right? Just to be super clear, you know, they're still monitored by the BPU. So we had a couple people complain to the BPU about the borough and the sewer bill. Actually, I think we were somewhat covered because we're a government entity, but actually, again, a public entity would probably be more subject to complaints from the BPU than we would, right?
It depends, but you're still subject to the same process.
Yeah.
It has to be, you have to justify the rate.
The rate increase. Yep. And then also, so where council has so I'm going all over the place, but the reason why I didn't think this was going to be controversial, and I hope it's not, is whatever, council, do what you want on this. This is the first thing that I've voted on that will go to a public referendum. It is literally the most transparent process on earth, right? Like, it's not like you got to call up your councilman and say, hey, I think this is a bad deal and the mayor's a nutcase, like, vote it down. Like, literally, if we get a bid on this, you go out and vote. Like we did a referendum for marijuana statewide years ago, right? So the ultimate power's in your guys' hand. one thing that I think is important is we can craft the bid the RFP how we want to, right? So we can put in things like, we would like to limit the buyer's ability to raise rates for the next 15 years and say they can only raise it X% every year, right? Could be a thing that we put in the bid specs. That'll obviously impact how much people are willing to pay up front because they have less flexibility on the rates. But we can do that, right? So these are things that we can and should consider. The ultimate reason why I'm in favor of this is Roselle Park's a square mile town. We really don't have economies of scale to manage this. I think there's been cases, and feel free to look this up, where towns have actually voted this down and then something happens with the sewer system and then they go vote on it again and then they sell it because they're like, we don't know what to do with this. But ultimately, where the council plays into this is we will craft what the bidding process looks like. We will say, this is Roselle Park sewer system. It is out for bid. Give us your best offer, and we will set parameters around that bid. Keep me honest here. Once the winning bid happens, then we go to a public referendum based on that winning bid. Is that correct?
You missed one little step. So
Please.
all you're doing tonight is authorizing the bid to go out. It then has to sit out on the street for 6 weeks minimum, so you can get the best number of bids back. They then come in, they get evaluated. You don't, at that point, you could reject all of them, right? You can say none of them met the requirements, so you went out, you shopped it, you didn't like it. Or if you like one, you pick one, you then by ordinance have to then set it up for a referendum. That has to be done by August 8th. That then goes on as a public question on the November general ballot, right? So at the bottom, they'll have typically, sometimes you have statewide questions, you'll now have a local question, and the voters that partake in that election will tell you whether or not they think this is a good deal.
Oh, go ahead, Greg. One other just quick thing I want to say before you go, Greg. Sorry, I know you got to go. If we do get monies for this, right, let's just say it's $5 million, we also don't get to just like pick where it gets spent. The first place that it has to go is to pay down debt.
The debt for the sewer system first?
And then the town.
And then the town.
Luckily, we have no debt for the sewer system, so that's kind of irrelevant. Councilman Johnson?
No, I thought this was the referendum, asking the question, do they want to put it out for referendum? So we actually putting out bids first before the referendum?
Yeah, so basically the way it works out is we say, yeah, but.
If I can?
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, so you don't put out a question to the public without the details of the deal. So you get the bid back, and then it's very transparent to the mayor's point. The public would then see the actual, what the company that wants to buy it, what they're paying, what the town would get, how long the rates would be. So it's a fully voted on deal.
Yeah, so the thought behind it, Greg, is basically the bid will show, you're not just voting on hypothetically should we sell it.
Yeah.
You're voting on somebody's offering $10 million for this, and the buyer is Jim, and Jim agreed to not raise the rates for 10 years. You're not voting, do we sell it or not? You're voting, do
On the
we take
terms.
do we take that actual deal?
Yeah, you're voting on, I think the most important thing is, and the attorney mentioned it, you're voting on the terms. If this is a statutory step that authorizes the solicitation of bids for the sale of the system pursuant to the bid specs that are put out by the town, right? If it's, and I used the comp today explaining this to somebody, if you're selling your house, right, in some respects, not apples to apples.
I used this today.
But
You're just stealing it from me.
But if it's maybe we both said it. But if you get bids, right, if you're selling your house and you get bids, and you don't like the bids, right? You think that let's say the whole governing body thinks the sewer system, just throwing out random numbers, $20 million, right? And we put out the bid specs the way we want, 10-year, 15-year rate lock or whatever, and all the terms that we want in those bid specs, and somebody comes back and says, you know what? The water company comes back and says, we'll bid $2 million. Governing body could just say, no. We're not passing an ordinance. We're not even submitting it to the voters.
Not worth it.
Actually, what if the voters voted no? What happens
Then the transaction does not happen.
Yeah.
Okay.
then the borough retains complete ownership of it.
Yeah, so let's use a concrete example, right? Let's say a bidder offers $10 million. So, and by the way, we have some intel, it's dated, but we do have a range of what we think it's worth. I mean, it's public information. What was the range?
It's not public information.
It's not public information, so I'm not going to say it out loud. Good catch. But we do have a general range. You guys can consume it. I think it's all in your inboxes. But let's just say, hypothetically, I'm going to use an absurd number, right? $50 million, right? Jim's sewer service says we're going to buy it for $50 million, and we agree to the borough's terms of raising the rates only 5% for the next 10 years, right? If the voters vote that down, that's it, right? And we just keep the sewer system.
So mechanically, just to go one step further, mechanically, once the bids are received and the borough says this is the most advantageous bidder, right? This is the highest bid price. They met our terms, right? They're the responsible bidder. The governing body would then vote on an ordinance to effectuate the sale to that bidder, right? If the governing body does not adopt that ordinance, then that doesn't go through. It doesn't go to the voters. Nothing happens. It's as if an ordinance gets voted down. It's not in effect. If you approve the ordinance, right? If the governing body adopts the ordinance and it gets signed, it's basically on pause until the voters say yes. If they say no, they vetoed the ordinance, right, is the best way to look at it, is the public said, no, you don't, the governing body was wrong in authorizing this, you don't get to do it. But if they say yes, then the transaction happens.
Go, Joe P.
You do a vote like a year or two later?
You can.
Another one?
You could do it. We could do it next year if you want to.
Oh, year?
Yeah, it doesn't.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think it's happened, but in the past.
Yeah, because circumstances change.
Yeah.
I mean, circumstances change.
Do we know what the sewer surplus is?
I'm sure Ken can give you the number. I don't really know it offhand. I will say the one thing, Greg, that has been why part of our thing is attractive is we don't have any debt, which is a rarity. So there is surplus.
I'm always like, you don't gotta twist my arm for referendums.
Yeah, yeah.
I just wanted some clarity for my own self.
Yeah, if, I don't know if Ken, well, it's probably, it's probably.
If you don't have it right now.
Source surplus is 1,567,000 and change.
So where does that money go? Do we get that back?
You don't sell the cash. You're selling the
Okay.
system.
Okay, so we just,
You're selling the
You're
infrastructure.
selling the infrastructure.
okay, yeah, got it.
They don't get that surplus, right?
No, it's ours.
All right,
We
cool.
keep it.
That's all I wanted to do.
But
If it passes, right?
that just shows the health of the system, so you can garner a premium on the asset because it's showing that that's an asset that actually produces revenue.
And the other thing, just because this has been going on, I know I sent something to the governing body today. I know it was today, so it may not all been absorbed. But this is a process that's been going on at least as long as I've been here. So that's 2017. One of the questions that was asked along the way that I'm happy to share was, do we retain voting rights on the sewer authorities, right? Because we have a collection system, we don't have a treatment system. The treatment systems are the Rahway Valley Sewer Authority and the joint meeting of Essex and Union County. Question that's come up over all these years is, does the municipality still have voting rights on those boards, right? Because we have a representative on both boards. And the answer to that is yes, we do. It's a little odd, right? Because it's a different framework you're operating under, but the entities that are the treatments they're still treating our sewage that comes from our town, so we retain a seat on those boards.
And how does the Rahway Valley sewage feel about this sale? Is this something they're in favor of?
It really,
They might bid on it,
I doubt it, but
but theoretically, they could be a bidder.
I don't even know that to be true, but it could be. I guess any entity, could be that could demonstrate their ability to operate a collection system. I don't think they have an opinion one way or the other, and part of the reason for that is it would be like if it doesn't matter. Like it's literally sewage.
It's flowing one way or the other.
Yeah, it's flowing one way or the other. It doesn't matter really who owns the pipes, right?
And then as far as the rates, like, is there other towns surrounding that sold their sewer system? Yeah.
South Orange sold not long ago. There are a few towns that have recently within the last few years.
And some have failed, right? Like where I put up Gloucester City, their referendum failed. Yeah.
Manville and Somerville did.
Got it. And then, I mean, they probably put in that you can't increase the rate and stuff like that. But do we know, like, what would be average increase if they do buy it? I mean, unless, yeah, we're gonna lock it for whatever, 10, 15 years. But after 15 years, what happens to the rate? You know?
So traditionally, what happens on some of these is there's a period of time where they'll say the rate increase won't exceed 2% a year for 7 years, 10 years.
Whatever.
And then there's an obligation for some CapEx, which means essentially in that same 7-year period, they'll have to put money into the system also, right? So you're ensuring they're rebuilding some of the infrastructure. And then after that, they're treated like same as your electric bill, right? So we don't set the rates, PSE&G sets our rates, but they have to go down to the Board of Public Utilities, and they have to present a justification if they're going to increase it more than the normal or whatever the increase is, to say, hey, there was some special circumstance in the borough of Roselle Park that requires us to be 6%, 4%, 3%. And that's usually if there's a catastrophic issue.
Got it. And then in the sewer, I guess, who would be like the authority? Would it be us? As far as for electricity, it's BPU.
It would be very similar to if you had a water main break, right? It would be, and I'm only using, American Water as an example. I'm sure they will be a bidder just because of the territory that they operate. But when there's a water main break, right, who gets called? Maybe the town, but then we find out it's a water main break, and we call American Water.
And it becomes their problem.
Sorry, I meant like if you were gonna raise the price for like PSNG, you have to talk to the BPU.
Correct.
What would be like for sewer?
We wouldn't be regulating it. It would be the same process, right? So it would be whoever the owner of the system is and regulated by the Board of Public Utilities.
It'd be like your water.
Same board.
Yeah, there would no longer be a utility bill issued by the Borough of Roselle Park.
It'd be your water bill. Like people complain to me about a lot, but they don't complain to me about their water bill because we don't touch it. It'd be the same thing. Yeah.
But you would get, as the borough would get notice of the application at BPU. You get that notice. Andrew routinely gets notices if someone's going in front of the BPU that will affect a resident in the town usually is on the list of entities.
The petitions, right? They'll petition the Board of Public Utilities. There'll be a public hearing at the Board of Public Utilities if there's a request for a rate increase or decrease, which does happen, not recently, but it does happen.
So a board 10 years from now, if there was something, the board can say, hey, we want to send somebody down there. We don't think this is justified. But you get notice of it.
Yeah, go for it. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Any further questions? Councilman Johnson's got to go, so wrap it up. Good, Councilman? Okay, please call the roll.
Councilman Petrosky.
Yes.
Councilman Johnson.
Yes.
Councilman Signorello.
Yes.
Councilman Rabina.
Yes.
Councilwoman Lyons.
Yes.
Councilman Patel.
Yes.
6 votes in the affirmative, Mayor. The ordinance resolution is adopted.
Cool. Thank you, Councilman.
Mayor, if I may?
Yeah, go for it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, all good.
I've got a couple of urgencies.
Do what you got to do. Yeah, may I please have a motion to adopt Resolution 139?
So moved.
Second?
Is there any discussion?
Mayor, I'd just like to congratulate Dave Pitts for his many years of service. I remember Dave's, I don't know if it was rookie year, second year, your brother, Mark, dialed 911, and they have to come check the house and everything, and he grabbed your brother, and, he was an infant, and it was just nice to see Dave to come to the house, and I appreciate all his years of service, and I hope his future endeavors.
Why do you call 911?
No, Mark called
Hey,
911.
why do you call 911?
No, because he was playing with the phone.
Oh, got it, okay.
He was
Sounds
playing
about
with the
right.
phone,
So you're saying he was arrested?
He was swatted.
So they have to come to verify, right? Everything's good. And he was just so nice. I just remember seeing him come to my house, our house, 28 years ago, 29 years ago, whatever it was. Mark's 29. Mark was 6 months old or whatever. I just remember him from day one.
Dialing the phone.
I just want to thank him for his years of service to the Borough of Roselle Park.
I'm going to call 911 now. Anybody else? Please call the roll.
Councilman Petrosky.
Yes.
Councilman Johnson is not here. Councilman Signorello.
Yes.
Councilman Urbina.
Yes.
Councilwoman Lyons.
Yes.
Councilman Patel.
Yes.
5 votes in the affirmative. The resolution is adopted, Mayor.
Okie dokie. Councilman Petrosky, we will start off with you.
Thank you, Mayor. Okay, thank you, Mayor. Okay, first of all, I want to send my condolences out to Angela Gravina, Michael Swers, which was a 1971 graduate, and Mike was on the undefeated 1969 football team. He was a starter at linebacker. Mike stayed in town his whole life, was involved in Little League for many years, and actually last month, he was awarded the Achievement Award by the Roselle Park Youth Baseball Softball League for his many years of service. So, again, Michael will be missed, and, again. Next is Christine Lettieri, who Ruben had mentioned. She used to work at the Casano Center. I know Christine a long time, and she's been sick for the last couple of years, but my condolences go out to her and the family. And then next one is Delphine Albanese, which is Bob Nadella, who I graduated high school with, his mother. I know she was in her 90s, and April 19th, I attended the Easter egg hunt. Well attended. Again, I want to thank John Ranieri and Tina Schwartz and her crew. They did an absolute great job. And, April 21st, I attended the Historical Society. Again, they're still looking for donations. So anyone interested in becoming a member, you can become a lifetime member of the Historical Society. The same day, I attended the public safety meeting with Councilman Johnson and Councilman Signorella and the Chief Freno. We got a lot accomplished, and we found out a few things. So I was glad Councilman Johnson called for the meeting. On April 25th, I attended Arbor Day celebration at the high school. We planted a tree in the grove. It was nice to see all the high school kids there and everything. So, again, I know I usually always say this about the American Legion. Keep them in mind. They always need your help. If you need to contact me, get me at jpetrosky@rosellepark.net, 908-666-7821. And Mayor, that's my report. Thank you.
Well done, Councilman. Excuse me.
How's your allergies?
Rough today, again. Yeah, it's bad. If I'm yawning, it's because, hey, it's... I'm just gonna make a joke.
Keep it going.
Yeah, Councilman Signorello.
Like I said before, when Rich Blue shows up, hey, folks, you got to take care of your grass, take care of your property, because a lot of homeowners do, and please, do what you got to do to take care of your property, because code enforcement will be looking at you. Just a little reminder that the Roselle Park Fire Department Memorial Service is we held annually on May 21st. It's a Wednesday night. It's always the third Wednesday of May at Kelly Coffers Park. I believe it's 7 p.m. on Wednesday, the 21st. And as like Councilman Petrosky said, that we planted a tree in the grove behind the high school. And I know we got a couple wooded areas in town, but it's nice to see we're planting it. And Greg B. from the DPW says it's potentially a 30-foot tree, so nice tree. And briefly, I'll say, me and Joe Petrosky were talking about, we had some good times back in high school, behind the high school.
Yes. Oh, yes.
So good times.
Oh, Lord.
Right, Mike?
Wrap this meeting up.
And then, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
What are we doing?
And then also, again, the public safety meeting was very valuable, and we come up with some good things to help the borough of Roselle Park. That's the end of my report. Have a good evening.
Councilman Romine.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, Roselle Park. Here's a brief update on events and developments since our last meeting. I've been in touch with NJ Transit regarding the long-awaited renovation of the Roselle Park train station. While there have been delays, NJ Transit expects design work to be completed by the end of June. For context, Lyndhurst Station just underwent a $30 million upgrade, including elevators, high-level platforms, and ADA accessibility. It serves about 800 weekday riders. Roselle Park averages 908 daily boardings, while Cranford sees 1,200. These numbers highlight how vital our station is and why the $34 million investment here is both needed and well-deserved. Last month, after a conversation here in Chambers with Chief Reno about how we can better support our local police department, it inspired me to introduce tonight's resolution, which urges state officials to revisit police pursuit guidelines that currently limit our officers' ability to respond to organized thefts like catalytic converter crimes or home and vehicle burglaries. Current restrictions often prevent officers from pursuing suspects, allowing criminals to flee and repeat offenses, putting neighborhoods at risk. This resolution supports giving officers more discretion in such cases and calls for increased state investment in law enforcement tools, tech, training, and community safety programs to help prevent and investigate crime more effectively. Yesterday, I attended a transportation-focused candidate forum hosted by New Jersey Future alongside groups like the Tri-State Transportation Campaign, NJ Bike and Walk Coalition, East Coast Greenway Alliance, Trust for Public Land, and the Circuit Trails Coalition. The conversation centered on the future of accessible, equitable transportation and how that connects to the upcoming gubernatorial election. From sidewalks and bike lanes to safe routes for kids and transit access, these investments make a big difference, especially for older adults and people with disabilities. I'll also be participating in an upcoming focus group for the NJ Bicycle and Pedestrian Master Plan, last updated in 2016, to help shape the state's next chapter in active transportation planning. And on a local note, great to see speed humps recently installed on Walnut Street. These kinds of traffic calming measures have been a long time coming. We started this work 3 to 4 years ago in the 5th Ward on Valley, Beechwood, Jerome, and West Webster, and I'm glad to see it continued townwide. They're far more cost-effective than speed enforcement patrols, and most importantly, they work. On the 25th, I had the pleasure of joining Roselle Park High School students for an Arbor Day tree planting, and later that day, visited Boy Scout Park with our business administrator to review the ongoing renovations. The upgrades are coming along beautifully, and neighbors have shared great feedback. Next steps include installing 4 new benches and adding landscaping with weeping willows, elms, and boxwoods. Updates to the sensory-friendly park will feature fresh mulch, relocation of the sensory garden, and a new communication board. We'll announce the ribbon cutting soon, so stay tuned. I want to say a big thanks to Clean Communities Coordinator Deb DeCosmo and the Union County Department of Recycling for providing gloves, bags, and litter pickers for the Celebrate Trails Day the following day, Saturday the 26th, which was hosted by Union County Connects. Despite some clouds, over 50 volunteers turned out to clean the Rahway Valley Railroad trail between Westfield Avenue and West Colfax, collecting 20 bags of garbage and debris. Special shout out to Mayor Signorello, the Girl Scouts, Mayor Blumenstock of Garwood, Apendra Sapkota of the Rails to Trails Conservancy, the East Coast Greenway Alliance NJ Committee, and all of our partners. Huge thanks as well to Casas for donating food, Frenchies for hosting, and Richie Rano's All-Stars for a fantastic performance. We're proud of the growing momentum for safe, connected trail networks across Union County. On Sunday the 27th, my family and I enjoyed this year's Wild Earth Fest at Watchung Reservation, Union County's celebration of Earth Day with hands-on educational and fun activities for all ages. I encourage our residents to download the Explore Union County app to keep up with events like these, provided for families and residents happening throughout the county. And don't forget, tomorrow's the last day to RSVP for Saturday's bike event, though you won't be turned away if you don't. 11 a.m. is our clinic, and the community ride begins at 11:30, Michael Maury Park. If you don't have a helmet, we have a limited supply to give away, as well as bike lights and other giveaways. And once again, as warm weather approaches, Roselle Park has partnered with Clark and Cranford to offer residents discounted summer pool access. Registration at both locations, or all 3 locations, is now open, so visit my Facebook page or contact Director Shaw at the Casano Center for more details. For our business owners, the Chamber of Commerce and M&T Bank at 5 Points are hosting a free wine and cheese mixer on Wednesday, May 21st from 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. If you're part of Roselle Park's business community, this is a great free networking opportunity. Call 908-687-0240 for more information. And as I conclude my remarks this morning before heading to work, I stopped by Michael Maury Park for the National Day of Prayer. I don't often talk about faith publicly, and I wouldn't describe myself as especially religious, but I took a moment to reflect and pray for my family, my neighbors, and the community I'm privileged to serve. I prayed for focus, direction, and safety, among other things. Up here, we often talk about the importance of communication, transparency, and unity. Some hopes and prayers might feel like long shots, but I still prayed that the sense of entitlement some individuals and groups carry be replaced with humility, and that we all begin the work of personal healing and gratitude. That includes those in uniforms or positions of responsibility, especially those filled with anger and spite who sometimes lose their sight of the weight their roles carry. My hope is that we never lose sight of the need to serve, assist, and represent with purpose, civility, humility, regardless of race, ethnicity, religion, sexuality, or ideology. May we let go of the bitterness, spite, and immature behavior and division and find peace and contentment within ourselves and extend that peace to others. Philippians chapter 2, verse 3 says, "Do nothing out of selfish ambition or vain conceit. Rather, in humility, value others above yourselves." I feel like I was channeling Councilwoman Rosanna here. Let's commit to being civil and to working together constructively towards real solutions. Amen. And that concludes my report. 862-236-0019, jrubine@rosellepark.net. Mayor, Roselle Park, that concludes my report.
Mayor of Roselle Park, is that how you? Oh, got it, because so it's official. Thank you, Councilman Ryan. Councilman Patel.
I actually don't have any report. I was gonna say nice weather, but it's raining all week till next week, so.
Congratulations, Councilman Patel. You win the award for the night. Councilwoman Lyons.
Good evening, Mayor and Council and Roselle Park residents. A really just quick report, but before I do the report, I definitely want to send out my condolences to Michael Swartz and his family, Kathy, and their 5 children and their family. I did go by today, and I just a heartfelt condolences to them. But today, as Councilman Rubina said, today is National Day of Prayer. I was able to reach out to Pastor Jisoo from the community church on Chestnut Street, and he graciously came out and he actually invited his congregation. So we had about 20-something people today. We did meet at the gazebo, and we did pray for everyone here, mayor and council, and the entire town, every family, every individual, police and fire, the schools, the kids, and we just stood in unity, and it was a beautiful moment. And I think I just missed you, Councilman Jay, by like 10 minutes. But it was a beautiful day today. And the scripture I'll share is, and which I always do, is a house divided against itself cannot stand. So, definitely the unity is an amazing message. So I just want to also celebrate the things that have been happening in Roselle Park, even with the roads that are happening. Walnut Street got paved, and I definitely heard the cheers, I think, from my house. And also the speed bumps. I call them bumps. I don't know. Somebody said humps. They're speed humps.
Yeah, bumps
Depends the
higher.
size.
Okay.
Typically, you'll find them in malls, you can go no more than 5-10 miles an hour.
All right, the speed humps. So yes, I know that was definitely needed there. And also East Lincoln and the curbs, and it's definitely beautifying the town. So it's wonderful to see. I just want to actually just announce and reiterate, we are having a Women's Night celebration on May 30th. So May 30th, 7 p.m., Costa's. Please, you're all welcome. All ladies are welcome. I am sending out a notification via Facebook, email, and telephone. So if you want to contact me for more information, please do. 908-726-8773 or rlyons@rosellepark.net. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman. I have no report. May I have a motion to open the public portion on any subject?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Would you like to come up and speak on any subject matter? Mike, we've seen it. Leave it over there. We got it. We've seen it.
How you doing? George Ramirez, 500 East Clay. The sale of the sewer system. You said it's a profitable system. We've got over 1.5 million.
Mhm.
Why are we selling it if it's profitable?
Well, profitable is, yeah, go ahead. You want to?
We don't make a profit. What the point is that there is a surplus,
Okay.
right? That's not, municipalities don't, and entities don't make
Technically,
profit.
it's like a profit. Like we have surplus money that's come in.
Technically, it's not
sewer.
like a profit, it's a surplus, which just means that in a healthy system, similar to the municipal budget, you always want to have a rainy day fund, right? So you have a little bit of a surplus and no debt. So that's a sign of a fairly well-run system, all
Which
right?
means it hasn't been a burden for the town.
Yeah, I mean, well, define burden, right? So, I mean, you know, we could probably quantify it, but we get weekend calls all the time, overtime for like broken pipes here, broken pipes there. You know, at the end of the day, it's kind of a house of cards, right? Like it's aging infrastructure. Candidly, without a huge capital increase, you know, we don't have the money to like go out there and fix all the piping. We do it in patchwork where we can, but like it's old and we only have so much money to do. But like ultimately, like George, I'm not going to tell you whether or not I think it's a great idea. I think it's worth exploring. I think it's worth seeing what the number is, and ultimately you vote how you want to on this one.
Well, my thing is with the BPO, they just had a vote, a couple months ago about the electricity bill.
Mhm.
We're all going to be getting hit with like a 21% hike.
Yep.
Right now, we control the rates and all of that. If we do sell it to American Water, they can get together and increase it by 20.
Yeah, hit with a 100% hike last year, and it's under our control, right? I mean,
All right, but
that's what I'm saying is.
let's not even start with that.
No, but what I'm saying is like unexpected things happen and you get a hike, right? Even if it's in our control. I'm being kind of silly, but also kind of serious.
Well, if we have a 1.5%, or $1.5 million surplus,
Mhm.
that's a healthy surplus to have, no? How much is an average repair cost?
So I would say again, it's hard to quantify, but I could tell you if it's a catastrophic, if they have to excavate East Grand Avenue, you're talking at least 50,000 just to open the road. The sewer system is about 15 feet underground, right? So you're looking at 50,000, right? That's a section.
3%?
Sure,
3%
but you're talking about a section of pipe that might be 10 feet long to go 15 feet underground. So I guess when you're looking at holistically the long-term solution for this system, the question is, can we afford that long-term maintenance and fix to do it the right way? We could continue to react to issues.
All right.
It's some of it is going to be unknown, and I can tell you the guidance I've given the governing body. A lot of these answers are not going to be known until you get what's the deal, right? Like, what is the amount of money, right? To your point, if a bidder comes in and says, we'll pay you $1 million, $2 million, I got to be honest with you, it's not worth it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that brings me to my second question. If they do, say, hypothetically, 20 million,
Mhm.
what are we going to do with that money?
So it's statutory, I'm sorry.
Go ahead, yeah, go for
So
it.
statutorily, it would have to go first to the debt of the system, which we have
there is
none. Then it has to go to debt of the municipality. So it would be dedicated for the payment of our debt service as a municipality.
So theoretically,
Like 2 million? What do we have right now in debt?
What's our debt service on an annual basis, Ken? Do you know? Offhand?
This year, we're paying down $1,755,000 in bonds.
Right, so say 2 million. And then the excess goes to where?
Well, you wouldn't have to use it all in 1 year, right? You would ultimately get that money, and how you would, we would probably have to talk to a financial advisor, or, we'd have to figure out how other municipalities have done it. But, you're not going to spend it all in 1 year. You're going to want to divvy it up. You may not want to spend $2 million every year, because in the $20 million, you probably want that money to last a little bit longer to level off your debt service. So you don't want to just blow through it and say, hey, pretend like I have no debt service. After that 10 years is over, you're going to have debt service again. You're a town.
Have any other towns in Union County sold their system, or?
So Broadway, but Broadway they did like a lease of their system.
They did a concession agreement. I do know that Elizabeth, I know we don't want to tread into this, but, and they're completely separate issues, despite what some people might think, and I'm not saying that toward you. I believe American Water operates part of their system, but I don't know the answer for you on that. I do know the closest thing that I'm aware of is Rawway has a concession agreement.
But George, just real quick, I personally, and you know I'm very opinionated, I haven't even really put much thought around, again, to your point, let's just say it's worth $10 million. We pay off the $2 million and we got $8 million left over. I think it's just hard to even, and I would come up with a public proposal. I'd say, you know, we can make a fund for it, so we, you know, pay off roads for the next 50 years, right? You could do a number of things with it. But like, it's just hard for me to conceptualize because we only hear rumors of what it's worth, right? Like, I think it's kind of like a little bit of like, hypotheticals and woulda, coulda, shoulda until we know what it's worth, right? So.
I mean, you have, I'm sure you said you have an idea of what it's worth, right?
Yeah, but it's all, unfortunately you're out of time, but I'll just say real quick, it's the thing, and I want you to digest this, is if we put in stipulations like you can't up the rates for 15 years, then that goes down a lot, right? So there's still a lot of variability there.
All right.
Yep.
Thanks.
Yep. We see it. We've seen it.
There's a reason for it. We'll be looking at it right now. I saved the best for last. I'm Michael Ryan, 515 Locust Street.
Yes, sir.
I saved the best for last, and if you have noticed on the model, there is modeling of solar panels. They are a representation of the type of building that would be constructed. That type of construction is known as passive buildings. They're super insulated, airtight, and with high-performance windows and doors. The walls are made out of 2x6s, not 2x4s that typical construction is. Those walls are wrapped with another 2 or 4 inches of insulation on the exterior of the building. The roof is R80 roof, and underneath, between the podium and the first floor is R20 insulation. The windows are argon-filled triple pane, and the doors are insulated and airtight. Because the building is airtight, it's mechanically ventilated 24 hours a day. Results are, those building techniques result in an extremely comfortable residence, noticeably quiet, fresh air all the time, and a consistent temperature throughout the day. Those type of buildings, or these type of buildings, are extremely efficient. They are 90%, they use 90% less energy to condition the building, to heat it and cool it. And overall, they use 75% less than a typical building. Because of the care that's taken during construction, the building will last longer than a typical building, and that's estimated to be 200 years. 200 years. There are very few buildings in New Jersey built to these standards. Europe has 30,000 or more of them. And so it's not some pie-in-the-sky idea. And I personally have already built 2 or 3 of them myself. These type of buildings get recognition. They get national recognition. The buildings are going to be something that the residents of Roselle Park are definitely going to be proud of. Cranford doesn't have a passive building. Westfield doesn't have a passive building. Madison is building an affordable housing passive building, so it is something that is happening, and I want to do that in Roselle Park. These buildings are going to be high quality, and with high quality is increased cost. Combine that with the park, below-grade parking, public courtyards, terraced front yards, and that explains the need for maximum density on that property. But I'm not going for maximum density. The site is 2.1 acres, and the redevelopment plan allows 99 residences. That equals 47 units per acre. That's less than any of the other current projects that have been built recently in Roselle Park. It's the smallest of them all.
Pound for pound.
One of the reasons I'm trying to build it is for the community. I don't have the time to explain who I am or what I do or why I do the things that I do, but I am doing, one of the reasons is for the community, for the borough of Roselle Park. I'm asking council to help me bring this high-quality project to Roselle Park.
Thank you, Mike.
Thank you. Thank you, council.
Anybody else? Bill, you coming up? Cool, nice. May I have a motion to close public portion?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
May I have a motion to, I was gonna say, end the meeting, adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
That wasn't bad.